All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Northwest Race Report. My name is Terry Bridges. First off, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's going to be happy holidays. We're going to talk family tonight and the sport with Jennifer Larson-Smark. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Karting tools to help you tune, shop, and drive. And then we've got electric versus gas, racing and health, and a website for racers to learn with some of the best and actually teach you how to get some sponsorship help. So with that, I want to move on. First things first, Kyle Keenan is a racer. I don't normally go off like this, but this is a cool deal. If you go to racer.com, Kyle Keenan is in the running for Racer of the Year. He's a club racer. And he's actually part of the, I think there's 2 or 3 of them that are in the division, but you can go to racer.com and vote for him because he is in the running for Racer of the Year. Awesome stuff. Kyle Keenan, I know I went and voted for you, so hopefully everybody goes there, racer.com. You can vote. You've got to go through the whole thing. You've got to vote for, like, John Force. He's out there. You've got, NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick, some of the others. You can vote for whoever you feel is there. They give you a list of the people in the running for that stuff. So there's several of them, but you can just scroll clear down, and it'll say Club Racer of the Year, and it gives you the list of drivers. Click Kyle Keenan, and hopefully he wins that. That'd be awesome to see a Northwest talent get a Driver of the Year award. That is awesome. Moving on to the news. Evergreen Speedway. They have a Hall of Fame, and they just inducted 2 members to their Evergreen Speedway Hall of Fame. And those 2 are Ron Daggett and Donnie Scriver. So congratulations, Ron and Donnie, 2 very well-known and well-respected racers here in the area. Daggett, of course, he's been around the game for a long time, 35 years. And way back when, he helped develop the Fear series, and he made some of the quickest cars ever out there at Evergreen. And he was the first Northwest Series champ. So congratulations to Ron Daggett, and then Donnie Scriver. He's a 2-time NASCAR Northwest Series Tour car owner, and he was with you guys remember Kevin Hamlin, quite a talent, retired now. But he also sponsored rides for Travis Bennett from 2000 to 2008. And Bennett was a 4-time ASA Northwest Tour winner. And in 2004, he was Rookie of the Year and runner-up in the Northwest Tour Series. So congratulations to Ron Daggett and Donnie Scriver. You know, you don't think much about that, but that's a big deal. A Hall of Fame, I don't care where it is. It's awesome. That's an awesome award, and that's probably the pinnacle of awards you can get from your peers to be inducted in something like that. Whether it's local or a big national thing, it really doesn't matter. It's a big deal, and that's quite a compliment. Yeah. So, moving on, another important thing that I think is pretty cool, and I know a couple of the racers went down from the Northwest last year to compete in it. I think Mike Shorn went, and I want to say I thought Jason Hall did, but I'm not 100% positive. But it's the Sid White Memorial Enduro, and that's going to be February 14th and 15th, and down in Monterey, California, and the Monterey Bay Carters are putting that on. It's kind of a cool deal, actually. The best part is that they've got some limited LO206 local option motors that they're going to sell for $400. And Briggs & Stratton has gotten behind it, so it's a Briggs & Stratton only race. So it's going to be World Formulas in the LO206s. So hopefully the only deal is for that $400, you've got to run the motor in the race. So, but kind of I went through and I just said, well, I'll give them just a simple rundown on the rules. It's a Le Mans style start. It's got 5 separate classes, 35 cart limit or team, 2 to 4 drivers. It's going to be like $200 per team. You get 2 sets of slicks, and this is the cool part, 3 pit stops minimum. So that's going to make things kind of interesting. And then you've got practice and qualifying on Saturday, and then the 4-hour enduro on Sunday. Slick deal. Looks like loads of fun. I know. I think Shorn went, and he said it was a great time. And the hitman in the house. I wonder, shouldn't he be on his way down to Arizona? I know because the big holiday classic going on. But hey, Ryan Diotti, you're the man. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. The Iron Man in the house, Troy Diotti in the house, Wetline Racing, Chris Passanetti, the Assassins. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Rico Jones, right on. So the Sid White deal is February 14th and 15th. You can go to www.montereybaycarters.com. You can get the rules, all the extra info, and that kind of stuff. So the Sid White deal going on. We've got the Holiday Classic coming up. That's December 27, 28, 29. The 27th is practice, 4-hour practice from 12 to 4, and then the 28th, 29th they'll be racing. I've done some checking. I'm not sure the exact situation on it, but that is a quarter point race for the Unlimited All-Stars. So both Monday and Tuesday, I believe, or Sunday, Monday, I believe that's they're 2 different quarter point races. Now my question was, if you win both of them, is that count as 2 quarter point wins? I don't know. So I don't want to rattle anybody's cage. The snowman in the house, Wes Snow, right on. He's the snowman's going to be driving for Joe Penatel down there. JP Karting, that's going to be awesome. He's flying for the Classic. So he is going to be kind of the man down there. He's got some big shoes to fill. That's a Michael Lawton ride normally, but Michael couldn't make it, so the snowman filling in for Mr. Lawton. But they've got some cool classes. Now, we've talked a little bit about, we've got all these different 4-cycles and clones and the whole full meal deal. And when I was going through getting some of these notes and whatnot, I noticed they've got a kind of a cool deal. Like, for example, the Junior 1 combined, they just weighted them up, just like we you would think they would do. But they went. So if you've got a flathead, you had to weigh 285. If you've got a clone, you get to weigh 285. If you've got an animal, you have to weigh 320. And if you got a KT100, you have to weigh 320. Now, that's in the junior class. I believe it's similar in the junior class and all that, but still, nonetheless, that's the way to do it. I mean, then you can run these animals and world formulas and all that kind of together, and then you don't have, what kills us is, 35 different classes, medium, light, heavy, 3/4, 7/8, all that stuff. So kind of a cool deal. azkarting.com is where you can go to get more info on the Classic. I'm sure they're going to have a Facebook page up so you can get the results. I know I'm going to go next year. Somehow, some way, I'm going to go because I want to do that one live. I don't know if some of you caught it last night or not. Tim Chapman from down there at chaoticradio.com had me on his Chaotic Motorsports show last night. Really cool. Troy Adams from Adams Kart Track down in Riverside, California was on as well. So it was really cool. It was nice of Chappie to reach out, and that's a cool thing for us to get together. There's a handful of us that are trying to do this for a living, and he's got it going on. He's doing some pretty cool things down there. But that Chaotic Radio is actually 24/7, which hopefully someday I'll get there. But Chappie reached out, had me on the show. I got to tell about my show and what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, and got my name out there. So hats off to Chappie Chapman for having me on his show. And he's switching to January 6th, he's switching to Tuesday nights from 6 to 7. So be sure you tune in, support Chappie. He's a good guy. Kyle Larson, a rookie again. only this time it's in the fatherhood division. He had a 7-pound, 14-ounce boy, and named Owen. So congratulations to Kyle Larson, Caitlin Sweet. Caitlin Sweet is the sister of Brad Sweet, the big-time sprinter and NASCAR driver. So that's awesome. It's going to be a lot different in a race car. I'm sure of it. Oh, man, lots to go over. I'm just kind of hustling through. 8 o'clock, we got Jennifer Larson-Smark. Some of you may know her, some of you may not, but we're going to be talking family with her and just how the sport and family works together, how they're dealing with it. She's got a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and we're going to ask her some questions, just how it works out, the benefits, and that type of thing. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up at 8 o'clock. E-Karting News posted the Constructor Series chassis Manufacturers Cup points. I thought this was kind of interesting. You Speedway guys probably won't, you're not the road race stuff, and it is quite a difference. Typically, the crossover is a little tougher. Ask Renee Angel. She tried her hand at asphalt. She says, I couldn't get it, and it is tough. It's real tough. But once again, and they rated. I think there was 33 spots, and some of these might surprise you asphalt guys, but this should be no surprise. Number 1 was Tony Kart. 1,321 wins, and they count certain different things, and ECAN, they got a weird deal how they do this thing. It's minus this plus that. I don't get the whole thing, but nonetheless, Tony Kart was number 1. CRG was second, and they just flip-flopped with Top Kart, who was third. Top was second last year, but CRG took over that spot, so Top Kart was third. This one kind of surprised me. Cosmic was fourth. Now, I don't know. Maybe that fits. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I just found it surprising for Cosmic. But Burrell was fifth. Aero Kart was sixth. Now, I know four-cycle-wise they do awesome, but I didn't know they were that awesome, like in the shifter and Rotax and tag stuff. But so they were sixth. Intrepid was seventh. FA was eighth. GP was 9th. Sodi was 10th. I couldn't believe that one either, because at least in the Northwest, you don't see too many of them. Last week, Doug touched on them, said they were good cars, just not a lot of them up here. Merlin. Has anybody heard of Merlin? I've never heard of a Merlin chassis, but they were 11th. PCR. Now, I remember them from the old days with their 2-cycle rotary valve stuff, but I didn't know they made a chassis. I totally so PCR was 12th. Haase was 13th. Let's see. Praga was 14th. They were up 1 from a year ago. Margay was -1. So Praga and Margay they flip-flopped. Margay was 15th. That may surprise some. It may not. I know a lot of times have changed since when I was super heavily involved in it, because Margay was not one that was probably going to be up there, but nonetheless, they're 15th. The DR Kart was 16th. They were up 3 spots, so they got some things figured out. Aluminos. Here's another one I didn't get. I never heard of an Aluminos chassis, but they were down 1. Art GP was 18th. A Deadly chassis was 19th. They were up 4. And the Ital Kart, Claudio Valiente and the gang up there at Sumat, their car, they were down 3, and they were 20th. And then just some surprising ones. Energy was 23rd, and they were up 2. AMV was 29th. I know up here, Northwest Race Karts, Steve Perdue, I think he's handling the AMV. And over in Boise, the Gasaways are handling that. And